experience, my knowledge? Do you want me to ask me questions? What do you want me to do?
Yeah, sure, Chris. Of course, man. You know, we're going to kick off. I've got three major questions that the team truly wants answers to, especially us. But more importantly, if we can kick off with a point of, you know, I've done a brief introduction of yourself, of you. But if you could give us your journey real quick, just from the beginning, and you know, when you got started and the idea of getting started and what motivated you and how you ran through the ranks up to international marketing director, just your story, and that would be real cool. Is that okay?
Of course, of course. So, you know, first of all, I started World Ventures at a very young age. For all of you that you are young in the call, and September 2010, high school started again, 2010 September. And I was a crazy kid. Like most of you, I was a crazy kid. I was tired of going to school. And I'm not saying this because everyone is saying this, but it's the truth, because most of the people, they don't like school because you are forced to go. No one asks you to go. So when your parents register you at the school and they keep telling you, you're going right now to the high school, then you're going to this school, then you're going to the other school. And then after 3 years, you graduate from this school, you go to the next school. And at some point, I had nightmares. I was sleeping in the night, and I had nightmares that I'm still in my previous school. So I didn't know that World Ventures life was possible for someone like me, because, you know, we never had this opportunity to, you know, grow in network marketing or having crazy life. And they told me also to go to school, get good degrees. My parents was, you know, agree with me because I didn't have the best degrees. And when I was coming home, they was telling me, look, these kids, they are better than you. Look, these kids, you know. And I was always saying, yes, but look, these kids, they are worse than me. So I'm still a good one. So I was always watching the people and learning from the people that they have worse results than me, so I can feel good. But I didn't know that I have to learn from people that they have what I want. I didn't know that I have to learn from successful people. I was trying to say that I'm good enough because I have, you know, what's happening, and all these people are not better than me and I'm better than them, and I was feeling good. So then I didn't know that there is a different system. I didn't know that World Ventures life is possible. I didn't know that going to dream trips is possible, traveling the world, making money. In February 2011, few months later, my brother, my blood brother, Andreas, showed me World Ventures. Back then, he was studying in Greece. He was a musician. He was studying in Greece, and we joined as a family. In the beginning, we started working together as one big team, and you know, we didn't even know that this life is possible. And we achieved senior rep in 2 months. So in 60 days, we achieved senior rep. In 4 months, we achieved director. In 7 months, we achieved marketing director. In 13 months, we achieved regional marketing directors. And I was back then, if I'm not mistaken, probably at 18 years old, a regional marketing director, having a good life, traveling the world. I've been to almost 4 continents until 18 years old in 2 years of World Ventures. And by the time we hit 2 years in World Ventures, we achieved 2 years in World Ventures. We had an anniversary. We get the 100K ring for $100,000 in 12 consecutive months. That means in my first 2 years, until 18 years old, became a 100K ring earner. And we, you know, got recognized at the View from the Edge in Florence, 2013, a few months later. And we kept going. Back then, I went to the army. So in Cyprus, because half Cyprus right now, almost half, is taken by Turkish, we have to do the army. It's necessary. It's 100%. You have to do it. Otherwise, you are not able to get a job. You are not able to do many stuff in Cyprus. So, you know, my parents forced me to go to the army, and they said, you need to go. So at the army, I was doing nothing much. I didn't know how to speak in English because our main language is Greek. And I was practicing 2 years in the army. I was practicing every single day so I don't lose my time. I invest my time in the army. Most of the people, they had nothing to invest their time from the army, and that's why they was believing that they lose 2 years from their lives. So I invest 2 years of my life. I started to learn, you know, the English language. Then we earned a lot in this 4 years journey until a national marketing director. It took me 4 years. It took me 1 year to go R&D, and then it took me 4 years to go national market director because I was in the army. I can't say I was in a plateau because there is never plateau if you work enough. So I was not working enough. I was in the army. I had excuses. I was not doing presentations. I didn't know how to do the business. So we went to R&D really fast because in Cyprus was something new and no one knew about it. And people got excited. They invite their friends. Everyone joined. They make money. They run. So we became NMDs 2017. So 2013, we became an RMD. And then 4 years later, it took us 4 years to go to NMD. And the reason was because we were not growing. We were not growing. And then I had to attend a trainer school as a marketing director and above, trainer school with Mark Cassetta in order to learn how can I train people. Because we achieved regional marketing director. My parents were very negative in World Ventures. Then they went to a big event. They came back, and by negative, they became the most positive, and they get 400 personals in the last few years. My father was one of the most negative person I found in World Ventures by far. And right now, he's one of the top leaders, IMD, 400 personal enrollments. He's a rock star. He quit 4 jobs. He has 4 kids. I'm the 4th one. So everything changed from World Ventures. But we had to grow. We had to learn. We had to go to trainings. We had to go to the view from the edge. In 2017, we achieved National Marketing Director, and a few months later, we achieved IMD. But why was not possible to do it in 2013 when we achieved RMD in 13 months? Because life is like this. Because if you go to the hospital and they put you in the cardio, then you will see your life, you will see the lines going up and down and up and down and up and down. So we went up. We went 13 months to RMD, and then we had to go down in order to learn the game, in order to learn the process. But when you are down, you don't really know that you are down for this reason. You have to go back again, back to the top again, in order to see why you've been through, in order to see why your life went to downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. So by the age of 22, we achieved the highest rank of the company, and I became the youngest IMD in the world. And right now I'm an IMD for 2 years, traveling the world, teaching people, being featured at the cover photo of a Voyageur magazine. The video you saw in the beginning is from the Voyageur digital magazine. So the company sent, photographers and camera and videographers in Cyprus from US, and they took pictures for us and, everything that we were doing, and they record the movie for us. So a few months later, we grew a team over 60,000 people in 40 different countries. We lost the count. We don't even know right now who is becoming director from our team in Africa, who is becoming a market director from our team in the US. We don't even know right now. And our mission was from the beginning to change lives. Our mission was not to make money. Because if you come to Cyprus and you see my house, it's a $2 million house, way before we joined World Ventures. So you can understand that we never joined World Ventures to make money. We didn't care to make money. We joined just for something bigger. And that's why when difficult moments comes in, we were prepared, because we were prepared way before World Ventures came in the game. But I didn't know about personal development. I knew about life. I knew from my parents about having a big house, having a nice house. We have a pool. We have the billiard. We have the table tennis. We have the ping pong tennis in my house. I have three rooms in my house. But we didn't know that this life is possible. We knew about fun. We knew about fulfillment, but we didn't know about freedom. You need to understand this. We knew about fun because we're making a lot of money as a family. We had fulfillment because we have 4 kids. I love my parents. I love my family. This is my life. But we never had freedom because when the school always asked my father, come to see what your kid is doing, come to see his degrees, come to see what he's doing. He always say, I don't have the time to come because I'm working. So we didn't know about freedom. We didn't know that freedom is possible. That's why I'm telling you, World Ventures taught us how to get freedom. So that's a long answer, but that's a whole story from the beginning till now.
Wow, my brother, that's an amazing journey. It's a journey, that I got in touch with. I had to go back into time with you and go and experience that. But I didn't do that now. I did, I went back into time when I joined World Ventures. I went to go and see who was winning. I jumped onto social media immediately, and I've been following you from the day I got started. And more importantly, I've watched you live a journey and help so many other people win big. I've watched you come to South Africa already and went to places that even South Africans are afraid of going. So I truly understand your desire to help other people win big. We have team members that want to learn from you on this call. They're willing to sacrifice. They're willing to do whatever it takes to succeed in building their business. Some of the people on this call are new. Some just got started. Some are here for a couple of months. Some are here for, over a year, and they're waiting for that perfect moment. Okay. What can you say about the perfect moment or perfect timing?
Okay, so that's interesting, perfect moment and perfect timing. I believe that you don't need to be great to start something. You definitely need to start to be great. And most of the people, they regret about not starting something. They don't regret about starting something. I never heard someone to say, hey, Chris, I regret that I started World Ventures. No, they only regret if they don't get started. So in life, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook founder, one of my biggest mentors, learning from this guy from very young age, he says, the only thing you need to do is to get started. That's it. The only thing you need to do, because if let's say I was in a wedding in Greece few weeks ago, and it was a dance floor. We have the dance floor, we dance traditional dances, whatever. And since my parents, they own one of the biggest dancing schools in Cyprus, I had to learn how to dance since 4 years old. And then I became a dancing teacher. I learned more and more and more and more, exams every year. I was one of the best dancers of the dancing school because my parents were the dancing teachers. So I was learning since 4 years old. Now, what this has to do with the perfect timing? When at this wedding in Greece, someone pushed me to the dance floor, I had no choice. Because if I go back, then I become ridiculous. Then people will say, look, this guy, he knows how to dance and he don't dance, and he's thinking he's the best, but he don't dance and he don't show. But since someone pushed me in the dance floor, I had no choice, and I danced. So this is exactly by the right timing. Someone need to push you in order to understand the right timing. Someone need to push you to go to the next training, because some of you right now, you are believing yourself when you say you don't have the money to go to the next training. But when you're about to buy a new iPhone, you will find a way. When you're about to buy a new MacBook, you will find a way. When you're about to go to Mauritius, you will find a way. But when it's about the business, you don't have the money to do it. When it's about training, you don't have the money to go. When it's about having a kid, you don't have the money to support it. You don't have the money to afford to have a kid. That's what's happening in Cyprus. All the people, 30 years old, 35 years old, why don't you have a kid? We can't afford it. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You know why they can't afford it? Because they can't afford the TV. You know why they can't afford the baby? Because they can't afford the MacBook. You know why they can't afford the baby? Because they can't afford the Mercedes. So the outside world, the outside things, they show off on Instagram, changed our situation. The outside world on Instagram changed what you should do and not what you shouldn't do. So most of the people, they go buy stuff. Most of the people, they go buy a Louis Vuitton belt. They want to show off, but they don't really care about the inside world. They don't really care about having, happiness with their girlfriend, with their boyfriend. So most of the people, they will not go out to have a dinner and never post a picture on social media. You know why? Because they want other people to see that they went for a dinner with their girlfriend, with their boyfriend. But they don't really care about going to a dinner with their girlfriend, their boyfriend. So you need to understand that Instagram is the worst thing, and all social media is the worst thing that happened to society and the best thing that happened to society at the same time. So the way you use social media will destroy your world, or will create a new world for you in order to make money and live your life with your best ones. So perfect timing is not existing for me. What is existing is to take the time and make it perfect and make whatever it takes and do whatever you need to do and go through the ups, go through the downs. You can be an IMD and still going through the downs, but if you know where you go, nothing can stop you.
I love that, my brother. What you just said now is, go create your perfect timing yourself. A lot of people, too many people, and I've been working with hundreds and hundreds of people in the last year, are saying, what's the perfect moment? What's the perfect timing? So create your perfect moment. How important, you speak about trainings right now. You've mentioned trainings, right? And people will definitely find a way to go and buy stuff that they don't need, or stuff that they will validate themselves in society, like you said, but won't opt in for training just with that same sense of urgency. So how important was the knowledge and trainings for you and your team, and how did you use the trainings to create duplication in your team?
Wow, that's a great question. Thank you, brother. So, since 2011, when I joined Gold Ventures, I had no idea about trainings than going to the school. And when they told me go to your first training, I was thinking it's going to be the same like a classroom, the same like going to the school on Monday at 7 a.m. And most of the times, I was boring to go to the school because I was a DJ. Remember, before Gold Ventures, I was a DJ. So I was loving creating. I was loving playing music. I was loving entertainment. I was always hating to go to school, learn, open the books, read. I was not this kind of person. Maybe you love education, but I love also education. But I was loving more entertainment than education. So I was just a simple DJ that was living his life and traveling the world, playing music at the best restaurants, at the best clubs, at the best everything in Cyprus. We had beach parties in Limassol, Cyprus. And I didn't know about trainings. And when they invited me to my first training, I went. I went when I was 16 years old to boot camp in Athens, Greece. Boot camp, I was 16 years old, maybe the youngest in the whole room. Wayne Nugent, the founder of Gold Ventures, was present there at this event. We had 500 people at boot camp, 500 people, 2011, most of them from Israel. And I was thinking, if those guys from Israel can do it, then me too. And that was the moment that me as for director, the rank of director 2011, as I told you a few months later, 4 months later than I would join. And listen what happened. The reason I'm telling you we didn't join about money is the fact that we didn't join about money. So for 8 months, our Pioneer, MasterCard didn't arrive to my house. And we had around $12,000 in this card, but we didn't know if it's real or not. We became a marketing director without knowing if this works, without knowing if we can take money out of this, without knowing what credit card we can use. So you need to understand that we joined for long term. We didn't join just to make $100 and then see how it works. No, we joined because we realized that it's all about traveling. We didn't understand anything in the beginning. We didn't understand that it's about trainings, it's about the business. We didn't understand anything, but we are focused on what we wanted to achieve. So we are hitting rank after hitting rank after hitting rank, and we realized if we want to get to IMD, you need to have 500 people minimum with you at the big event, at the major event. This is what they told us at the last event. 500 people in average. And we said, okay, this is what we're about to do. We have 6 months to go. We gathered all our leaders and we said, listen guys, we're about to bring 500 people at bootcamp event 2013 in Athens, Greece again. So 2 years later from the day I went to the bootcamp, we had bootcamp in Athens again, in Greece, and we started promoting bootcamp. We booked 550, 560 people in the first 2 weeks we started to promote. And by bootcamp, we had 1,191 people from our team at bootcamp in 2013. That's the reason the team became 60,000 people. That's not because Chris is smarter than anyone. That's not because Chris never went to university. That's not because Chris went to bootcamp in 2011. That's because we had 1,191 people from our team at the bootcamp in 2013 in Athens. The room had 3,000 people. Our team had 34% of the whole room. And I'm telling you, it's nothing I told you that you can't do. Everything we did, you can do it too. Because we didn't have experience, maybe you don't have experience. I was the youngest, maybe you are the oldest, maybe you know, you have experience, maybe you are still the youngest, maybe you are young enough, but you have more than what I had in order to build this and become an IMD. So if we did it from Cyprus, learning, you know, going to training, getting things from trainings, apply. So there are 3 A's, like Sachin Govender, one of my best friends says, there are 3 A's: absorb, take the information, apply, SAP. 3 A's: absorb, apply, SAP. And I'm learning from people. I'm learning from Sachin, even though he's my best friend, because there is always the next level. And you need to always be committed to growth. And how can you be committed to growth if you're not committed to go to the next training? So what you don't have is not the money. Go to the next training. What you don't have is not the time. It's not the time that's stopping you from going to the next training. It's not the money that's stopping you from going to the next training. You know what you don't have? It's not the resources. It's not the resources that stops you. What stops you is the motivation. You don't have the motivation. You don't know why you start the World Ventures. You don't know why you do World Ventures. And you know why? You know how I know? Because if you are not booked yet for the next training, it's not about the money. You know why people find money to buy an iPhone when it's $1,000 and they still don't have the money? Because they are motivated enough to buy an iPhone. Not because they have the money. I know people that are broke and they have a Louis Vuitton backpack. I know people that are broke and they have Gucci shoes. I know people that are broke and they have an iPhone XS Max. I know people that are broke and they have a MacBook. You know why? Because their motivation was big enough to buy those stuff. But when it's about training, hey, Chris, we don't have the money. When it's about a big event, hey, Chris, we don't have the time. Hey, Chris, we don't have this, we don't have that. That's excuses. And the fastest you stop bullshitting yourself, the fastest you're going to see a change. I'm telling you straight, because this is how I talk to my leaders. This is how I talk even to me. The fastest you quit the bullshit excuses you have, the fastest you quit bullshitting yourself, is the fastest you're going to see results. Don't take me wrong, because I'm talking to you straight. It's because I want you to understand why people are not going to the next training, because they trust themselves, because they say they don't have the money, they don't have the time, they don't have this, they don't have that. What you don't have is the motivation. It's not about the resources. It's about the resourcefulness, whatever you say in English. So you need to understand that a simple person from Cyprus can get to IMD. A simple person from Cyprus can have investments. A simple person from Cyprus without experience, without results, without the knowledge, can get to the top of this race and can still fighting every single day for the future. Then you can do it too. So quit your excuses. Quit the excuses you have that you don't have the money, you don't have the time. Quit, don't trust the excuses of other people when they tell you this, because if something happens, let me tell you this, and I'm finishing with this question. If something happens today to you, and by accident, I don't want this to happen, but by accident you broke your leg, and you need $500 to fix a broke leg. You're in the hospital right now, and you need to fix your broke leg. What you're about to do? Are you going to say to the doctor, hey, we don't have $500, it's too much money, I can't afford it, I don't have the time, I can't find the money to fix my broke leg? So you're gonna fix the broke leg, but you don't want to do anything to fix a broke life. So your leg that helps you move is more important than the broke life that helps you live. So you need to understand what I'm telling you right now. Make the effort, find the money, find the time, because it's more difficult than to find an excuse. And if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. It's easy to find an excuse. It takes 1 second, but it's difficult to find a way, to find the money, to find the time and go to the next training. But if you do what is difficult, your life will be easy. So you choose what you're about to do. You want to do what is easy, or you want to do what is difficult that the few people are doing, and that's why they are living the dream life.
Wow, sorry, Chris, I'm busy writing notes as I'm speaking to you, because it's crazy. You're reminding me of 2018 in February when I got started. I paid $400 to get started with the Gold membership in 2018. And, just after I got started, I didn't know what business I was getting myself into. and I signed up with Sashin, and Sashin said I should book my momentum ticket the next week. And you know, I remember looking at my wife and saying, I've just paid $400, and this guy wants me to pay another $250 to go to Momentum, or whatever the price was back then, to go to a training event. I mean, how does this make sense? So I remember him telling me, if you're serious and you want to work with me and have my time and attention, you will get to the event. If you don't come to the event, don't even bother phoning me. I'll never forget those words, right? And I've got people on the call right now, and I've been there before, you know, that just got started, or they maybe just started last week or last month, and they planning on getting their 4, getting their 6, getting 10 people, getting 20 people, and earning some money in dollars so that they can book their next event, which is coming up, The View, right? The View is coming up on the 4th of October. First of all, I'm super excited about that. You've been to countless views, I would assume. So two questions before you leave us. One is, you know, is that the right mindset to have? Let me go make the money first in World Ventures. Let me use the tool of World Ventures to make the money so I can go for the training, number one. Number two, what has The View done for you in your business, and why attend The View from the Edge? Because we know The View is a higher price ticket, right? But why is it vital to attend The View, and what has that done? And we can wrap this meeting up, brother.
Exactly. So guys, very fast, I'm thinking that if you was Picasso and you are the best painter in the world, and someone asks you, you know, to make a masterpiece, to make something that you're about to give them. And I remember, it comes in my mind the story when Picasso painted one picture, you know, one paint for one lady, and the lady asked him, how much can I own you? And Picasso said $10,000. And Picasso goes, $10,000. And the lady said, $10,000 for 2 minutes painting? And Picasso said, it took me 30, 40 years to learn, practice, absorb information, apply, and use them ASAP in order to be able to create this masterpiece in 2 minutes. So what you're paying, $10,000, is not what I created you in 2 minutes, is how I created you in 2 minutes because of 40 years experience practicing, training, going to events, going to our teacher, having mentors. The same thing about The View. Going to the training, maybe you come back and you don't have the results that you want after the training. You know why? Because you don't apply, and it takes time to be successful. There are some people, they came back from The View, they became IMDs in 6 months from marketing director. Some people, they went from 0 to director. That's $2,000 a month. I believe is enough for Africa to start your life. $2,000 a month after The View from the Edge. The right mindset is not, I'm gonna make money and come to the event. The right mindset is, I'm gonna book the event and I'm gonna make money and I'm gonna show people and I'm gonna bring people. And so I will tell you something that I apply in my life: urgency. Let me tell you this again: urgency. If you are not using urgency, you will work for someone else who is using urgency. Let me tell you this again: if you don't use urgency for your life, you will work for someone else who is using urgency. What means urgency? When I think about something, I do it instantly. When they think about launching a company, about something else, whatever, they do it. And you, because you thought about it, you thought about an idea. How many times you had an idea, you didn't create it, you didn't use urgency, and you saw this happening in your own city? That was your idea. You know why? Because you don't use urgency. And you need to understand this. Using urgency is what will bring you to the next step. Using urgency. So when they announce you that is the next training for October, you leave everything you do and you use urgency. And you're asking yourself, how can I afford it? Never ask yourself, never say to yourself, I can't afford it. Never say to your kids, I can't afford it. Never say to people, I can't afford it. Always ask yourself, how can I afford it? What's the money I'm waiting from? How much money I'm waiting from? When am I gonna get the money? How I'm gonna get the money? How hard I need to work to get the money? Always ask questions because you will get the answers. If you close the question, if you just put a wall in front of the question, you will never going to have the answer. So if you ask yourself, how can I afford going to the view? How can I book it by next week? You will find a way. But if you say to yourself, I can't afford it, it's the easy part. Remember what I told you before. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. It's easy to say, I can't afford it. So let's say, for example, your wife tells you, we need to buy something for the baby. The first thing you can do, the easiest, is to say, I can't afford it. We don't have the money for it. The most difficult part is to say, how can we do it? How can we do it? How can we make more money? How can we book this? How can we book that? How can we do this? So I'm telling you, the right mindset is doing it first and then think about it. Let me tell you this again. Doing it first and then think about it. Because the more you think about it, the less you do it. The more time it takes, the more you delay your success. So do it first and then think about it. Let me tell you this again. So 11 a.m., I had to open my laptop in order to get on this Zoom. Maybe I was boring. Maybe I was lazy. Maybe I was, tired. Do it first, open the laptop, and then think about it. So you need to understand that using urgency will bring you to the next step. And the second question is all about journey, trainings, the view, everything that I've been through is all the trainings. It's a puzzle of the story. It's a puzzle of success. Dream trips is a puzzle of the story. Because if I haven't been to mega dream trip in Cyprus, even though it was next to my house, 30 minutes from my house, I paid $500 to be there, I would have met the wife of my life. I would have met the woman of my life. I wouldn't have a kid right now in the next 30 days. So you need to understand, everything you do is a part of your story. Dream trip, training, the view, the journey. Yes, there are sometimes you will not have the money to go. I'm telling you, even me, I couldn't have the money to go when I was 16, but I had the motivation. And when you have the motivation, nothing can stop you. Nothing, even yourself, because the biggest distractor is yourself. The biggest guy who will distract your success is yourself. You are the only one who can say to yourself, how can I afford it or I can't afford it? So change your words in order to change your life. Thank you, brother. Thank you for hosting this amazing call. I appreciate you guys. I can't wait to see you around the world and have a great view from the edge. Remember something, because life is too short. Don't do what is easy, because you will end up being an average like everyone else. It's easy to be an average. That's why it calls average. But it takes work to be above average, to be an extraordinary, to have an extraordinary life. So let's make it happen and see you at the view on stage. There are 30 days to go. Let's push whatever it takes. Let's go all in. Let's go.
Thank you so much, my brother Chrysantos, for your time. I've made my notes. If there's one thing you know about me is I'm definitely going to go and apply these notes. You're an amazing leader, bro. Keep winning big. We cannot wait to see you walk the stages, double IMD. You know that Africa's coming. You know that, on this call right now, I can promise you one thing. There's a group of highly motivated people that's about to do some massive, massive, crazy things. So thanks again for your time, brother. Truly appreciate it. We're here to serve, bro. Whatever you need, Team Chili has your back. Even if you don't like the chilies, we're going to be all over up on you, bro. Love you for life. God bless you. Take care. Regards to the family. Team, get to work. We're going to be opening up bookings for the view right now. I'm going to be booking in members that have already sent me their bank card information. If you want to get booked in, drop me a text. I will book your ticket for you, whether it's general seating or VIP. But more importantly, let's get ready to run. Let's get ready to rank you up. Let's get ready to paint your picture, and most importantly, put you in position to go and achieve your desired results. And that's ultimately the rank of International Marketing Director, a level of life that's going to give you between $50,000 and $100,000 US per month residually by helping other people win big. So thanks for your time this morning, team. Hope you made your notes. I'm truly excited for what's about to happen this week. We got massive movement, and more importantly, if you need to book your view ticket, I'm open to book it for you and help you this morning. I've already got 4 people to book in for the view. Let's go. Thanks for your time, guys. God bless.